How deep is the AI rabbit hole? Are you also wondering about the impact of the AI, what it will do to your job, life, society, and values? These are some of the questions many of us have, and here I will try to speculate some of the possible outcomes by looking into what are the differences between the AI and other traditional tools. How powerful is the AI tool and how it will impact us? What are the short-term impacts, 3 to 5 years? What are the long-term impact, let's say 5 to 10 years? And then finally try to answer the big questions about the AI. So here we go. First thing to understand is that the AI is fundamentally different from the other tools that has been created by humans so far. Every tool increases efficiency in the output, and every tool created so far serves a specific purpose and required a skilled operator to use it. You can take a shovel, for example. It simplifies digging, or take an excavator. It's a more efficient version of that shovel. This principle also applies to the intellectual tools. A calculator simplifies calculation, and an Excel sheet offer more enhanced capability of the same. So a tool, whether physical or digital, requires a trained operator. And one cannot simply park his bicycle and start driving an excavator. And the same goes for the Excel. If you want to use it, you need to have some basic training and understanding of this tool. Even if you think about our most advanced tool, a computer, at each point of time, a computer is doing a specific application. Maybe you're using it to do your tax returns, or you're making an engineer design, or you're doing some sort of a digital art. So even though the computer makes the task very efficient, it still requires some user training and it still delivers one output at a time. Now, AI is fundamentally different in that aspect. You can ask ChatGPT a very complex calculation. Let's say you ask it to create you a summary list of 100 US companies, evaluate them based on their revenue, net income, debt, margin profit, market potentials, environmental risk, competition risk, and then prioritize them for you on a scale of 1 to 100, and also give a description analysis for each. Now, if you want to do it as a human, you need to have some level of Excel knowledge. You need to understand the market, especially the financial market, and you also need to find a good source for your data. But you can just put this on a prompt on ChatGPT and then feed it to the AI machine, and then 10 seconds later, you have your results and you have your tables. Now you wait 2 minutes, and then your next prompt to ChatGPT might be design me a logo of a coffee shop that sells organic coffee and have fresh homemade bakeries. And just like that, you have your result. And you have your result without having any Excel knowledge, any stock market knowledge, or any design experience. So there are two main differences with AI. It's a single tool for many solutions, and it is also extremely efficient and requires very little or almost no skill to use it. And the second point is very vital because it replaces the user skill set. So it basically replaces the end user's brain. Now that we have established what are the differences between the AI and the other tools, let's see how is the impact of the AI on the job and the life of the people. Basically, this would mean that with the help of the AI, the people don't need to be expert in what they do, as long as they can explain it to the machine in a relatively understandable way. This would also mean that the efficiency will increase dramatically. Let's say you want to design a control system for your home alarm. In the normal way, you would need to have an electronic engineer, you will need to have a programmer, and if you wanted to write your code in 2-3 different languages, then you might need to have 2-3 different programmers. However, with the help of ChatGPT, even the free version, you can just ask it to design the components, design the hardware, write the code for you, and even make recommendations on what component you need to purchase. And all this will happen in a few hours, Whereas if you wanted to do it in the human way, you needed to find the people first. You have to contract them. You need to make sure they work together. You need to make sure they deliver you the correct output. They give you the correct documentation and the design, etc. and etc. I would estimate that this efficiency will reduce the amount of workload needed to deliver the same output by around 80%. And this would include any job that requires some logical step or some input data or observation. Jobs such as engineering, especially in design and development, software programming, accounting, translation, finance, customer support. Even when it comes to the physicians and the doctors, all those jobs can be easily replaced. There are AI machines that already can predict the lab result better than the average doctor. Also, a lot of managerial roles, especially middle to senior manager roles, would be dramatically impacted by this. More or less, any office job that does not require a lot of physical activity can be replaced. Now, also, this is still the first wave of the AI. When the agents comes to the market where they can make decisions on their own, then there would be another lap in the efficiency and more reduction of the human resources. Let's make an example of a manager roles, which is easy for everyone to understand, and we can show why AI would be much more efficient. A busy manager cannot keep track of all his projects, all his people, the records, timelines, deadlines, budget informations on top of his head. So he would need to rely on some Excel sheets, accounting reports, ERP tools, CRM tools, project plan to be able to follow up and make decisions. But in the AI case, the system already have those information and has access to the source of the truth. So they can make decisions on a fraction of the seconds based on the data they already have in themselves. And this is very important. You can make decisions on seconds, whereas as a manager, you need to set up a meeting, you need to review a bunch of documentation, and all these things takes hours to do. And additionally, it can update its decision continuously. And that's also a very big difference between the AI and the human. If I make in my job one decision today, probably I'm not going to review that decision at least a week or a month later, even though some base data might have changed so far. But for an AI machine, he can review this decision in 1 hour, and then again in 10 hours, and then tomorrow, and he can basically stay up to date with his decision based on the smallest change of the input data. Additionally, people need breaks. They don't work 24/7. They go home and sleep, have their own social life. So none of these is an issue for the machine. They work 24/7. They work non-stop. And this amount of information, this amount of input data will reduce the margin of error of the machine. So they will be actually able to make good decisions, as good as a person or even better. And therefore, a single AI machine can easily replace hundreds of managers in a company. Just think about the amount of efficiency the companies can gain by this. And then the same thing applies to the other fields of work. Think about number of financial statements a machine can complete versus a human per day, or the designs it can create versus a designer in an hour. I'm not saying that all the work would be eliminated for the humans, but it is very likely that with 10 to 20% of today's workforce supported by some sort of AI tool, we can deliver equal or even more output as today. And this would mean an increase of efficiency somewhere around 400 to 900%. So the good news is that if we keep all the people at work and give them this productivity tool, we can increase the output dramatically. However, there is a catch. The increase in the demand and consumption will not go as fast as the increase of the output. So we will end up with a situation that we have more supply than demand in the market. So this high efficiency will help the companies to flood the market with the product and services. However, consumers' habits won't change quickly, and the demand will stay lower than the supply. You really don't need 3 iPhones or 5 laptops to do your business. Meaning that the companies won't be able to make profit just by selling. And then, of course, they will switch into the cost saving. And what is the easiest cost saving here? Of course, to reduce the inefficient, expensive human labor and replace that with the intelligent tools that are 100% more efficient. They work 24/7, they don't complain about the salary, and then they don't require coffee breaks. As more companies do this on itself will create another issue, and that is when you have your 50% of the workforce out of the job, there is not much people who can buy your products. And then we will move into a market stagnation. Also, this increase of unemployment would mean that there would be less tax paid to the governments, and at the same time the governments have to pay more unemployment benefits to the people who are not working. This is not a situation that the government wants, and therefore it is likely that the governments will start reducing the working hours per week or the working days. So there is a good chance that we will move from 5 days work week to 4 days to 3 days or even to 2 days. This will help to keep the same number of people at job while producing more output. This is of course a temporary fix, but it could work for a period of time. So to conclude the short-term impacts for the next 3 to 5 years, it would be increase in the efficiency of the companies, surplus of goods and services in the market, lack of demand for these additional goods and services, increase of unemployment, and government intervening to reduce the working hours to keep the same number of people at job. Now, the technological advancement will not stop here, and then AI will become more efficient. In the next 5 to 10 years, the robotic will also make a lot of advancement, and the jobs that today requires human labor in the future can be done by the robots. Jobs such as construction works, maintenance, blue-collar jobs in the companies can be replaced now. It does not look very feasible today, but note that the advancement in the technology will be exponential with the use of the AI. And then it's just a matter of time that the prices goes down, that everybody will have a robo-mate at home. This would mean by that time in the future, not only the majority of white-collar jobs are reduced, but also the blue-collar labor is not needed anymore. By this time, the government has to introduce some sort of a universal pay system, as by now there is no way that they can keep people at work. And of course, this will create a new set of problems for us. Occupation and paid job is a big part of our life and people's identity. A lot of concepts like vacation, hobbies, family time only have meaning when they are measured against the work. Current social hierarchies are also mainly based on the jobs and income of the people. People following money have been a core principle for majority of people for hundreds or thousands of years. And of course, these concepts and these values can change, but I don't think they will change in a generation or two. It is not easy to create a social structure and just put it in place. And the problem is that without a social structure, there is a big chance to move towards chaos. So if you have made it so far in the video, let's think about the big question that the AI and the future needs to answer. And that is, currently in the society, the value of the people is mostly determined by their job, their contribution to the society. In the future, how would you value people that are not productive? What will be the use of the billions of the people on the planet Earth that do not contribute to the day-to-day life? How would the future leaders and the owner of this intelligent world see the common person who does not have an impact on the society? Will people keep the same value? Will the human rights still remain the same for everyone?